I just want to check my hair. I don't have proper mirrors, so can't really see. Anyway, we'll see if I leave this in the water walk video. The hairdo. How's the hair? It's important. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my... Look, I have the broom today. I'm using it as a walking stick going back. But, oh, sorry, everyone's dizzy now, right? But I swept the trail because the trail is covered with leaves right now. And it's super slippery. So today I went, oh, I remembered to bring the broom and just swept the trail. Hey, let's do some trail video. So it looks like a real trail now. So like you get an inch or two of leaves going and it's really slippery. I mean, it's okay on the flats, of course, but it's when you get on the steep parts where there's roots and rocks and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I did it. Might have to do one more before the end, but and also pretty soon, I'd say, we'll be heading up the ridge up here behind me, quite a ways up behind me, and sweep the ridge, the fire trail there. And I love doing that every year. It's pretty tiring by the end of the day, for me anyway. And but it's great, out with some people from the village, not everyone, and not very many young people. I'm just saying, it isn't. It's all the older people, like maybe my age and younger. Some might be my age or older even, but not too sure. Anyway, but it ain't the young people, as my friend Rhoda said. Because she was sort of asking around about my kendo practice down at Tong Tong Lodge, you know. I'll ask around the kids and stuff. They want to learn kendo, and in the end, she said, you know, it feels like if there isn't a screen involved, the kids aren't interested. And I'm not surprised, really. And I remember Sam at Lana Kendo and Grace home, and he was saying there was a Japanese fellow here a while ago who was living in a small village, and he wanted to start teaching kendo up in one of the villages, and yeah, it just didn't take off, you know. But I say good for the kendo teacher for trying to make it happen. You know what? If you don't try, nothing happens. And as for me at Tong Tong Lodge, the kendo, I'm still going. I had to get water this morning, so usually I go Sunday morning. Today's Sunday, but I'll probably go for a short bit this afternoon, then I have to run down and get some duck eggs and stock up, you know. Anyway, that's my day. It's a pretty great life, really. So what you doing today? Working? Yeah, I got a little bit of kendo to do on my own, and gonna go buy some eggs, and probably head on the internet and start pure raging over the mayhem. However, the mayhem is shifting. We knew it, I figured it would happen, but it was really hard to tell how and when, you know. But yeah, so now like the big New York Times article about big, what do you call it again? I forget the study name, but a big study about masks, and basically the conclusion is, yep, didn't do much. Didn't do much. I wouldn't say it didn't do much. I would say, so I'm sweeping as we talk. A little bit of leaves here. I would say it did plenty. Did plenty for instilling a sense of fear of our fellow human beings. Every person is a threat. Every person could kill me just by breathing near me. Oh, but they're 6 feet away. I'm safe! It's like, holy Jesus! Like the madness of it all. Anyway, as I guess it was Robert Kennedy was. Oh, I'm buying the tree again. See, there's a tree across the trail. Okay, I gotta stop this because this is more involved. I can't just walk over it. I'm back in the game. Well, that tree adds a bit of a. Let's just look at it as expanded opportunities for more varied exercise. So I really hate crawling under stuff like that. But anyway, it's been lying there for at least a week and a bit. So it's probably fairly stable. Anyway, until it's not, you know? Anyway, but it does feel pretty solidly grounded at the moment, at least. That will change because of the nature of this place, this environment, this climate. Anyway. Yeah, so, yeah, I was talking about the New York Times doing that. So there you go. We all knew it was ridiculous. Not all of us. Oh, I was going to say, here's the thing that the mask did give us. Is a sense of fear. And, you know, it's one thing with the adults. You know, so adults are adults and whatever, right? But to me, for the kids, right? So if you're 6 now, you spent half your lifetime covering your face and afraid of humanity. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. Let me adjust this. Yeah, sorry, but that's the long-term repercussions of that. We just can't know. You know, if you're 12, a quarter of your life was spent in terror of people breathing. Oh. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe, you know, on the other hand, kids can be quite resilient and, you know. I'm sure there's a lot of kids though that just get afraid if they don't have the mask on. I don't know if that's the case now, and it probably depends on the country you are in and where in that country. And I'm sure there's places in the States, like some people just basically refuse to wear them at all, you know, or maybe just use them when they had to go shopping or something, which is basically what I did here. But people wear masks a lot here now, and so that you could argue that that's a real issue here. Right? Everyone's masked up. Everyone's terrified. People were really afraid. I mean, my neighbors asked me, "Aren't you afraid?" And you know, we're talking in Thai, right? So believe me, my Thai language is not that great, but it was enough to know what they were asking, and I said, no, not afraid. I mean, you know, it was a serious bit of business. I'm not saying it was nothing, but not afraid. There's no way something like that's gonna make me cower, right? Yeah. But, you know, at the same time, I've been doing solo wilderness treks since I was 16, and I've run into direct encounters with bears like, I don't know, 10 or 12 times. My favorite line was people like out, I'm mostly talking with Canadians, right? Because most of my Facebook connections are Canadians, or some Americans and stuff, and some were like, oh, we're so afraid of this virus and we're all gonna die. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. It was pretty, like, who knew it the first month, right? No one could know, but it was pretty clear pretty quick that, Jesus, this isn't, you know, if you're sick, if you're old, really old and not well, and like old and not well, right? Just being old wasn't enough, I think, for most people. If you're really fat, that was a huge issue, actually. And as often said, their response to people being overweight and therefore more vulnerable was to shut down all the gyms and parks and beaches. It's like, oh geez. The madness. Anyway, so yeah. I was gonna say here, the other flip side of here is that wearing a mask in public isn't really that unusual, right? I think I've never lived in Japan, but you know, I know that in Japan, if people are a little bit under the weather, they'll put a mask on in public transport or whatever. You know, really to protect others. How much it protects others, that's debatable, but you know, I guess if you're coughing, it might certainly help a bit. Anyway, so in a way, the wearing of masks, maybe you could argue, isn't such a big deal. So maybe if we're lucky, this crazy, some people might see as madness of wearing masks everywhere, maybe the effect might not be as great as, you know, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Anyway, yeah. So there's that with the mask thing. So the mask basically, that study basically said, yeah, they don't do anything, right? And you know, it was so ludicrous. I mean, half the, you know, like a certain percentage of the people would wear the mask around their chin, right? It's like, I ain't gonna do shit at all. And you know, a lot of people love the surgical masks, which I sort of view as spit guards for surgeons operating people, so they're talking and don't spit in in the cavities of their patients or something. Anyway, but you know, most people, and those things on the sides, it opens up, right? So people are wearing that and it's like completely open on the sides. I guess makes it great for breathing, but if there was any benefit to that paper stuff for stopping viruses, I figure that negates it, right? Oh, look at this, eh? What a place I live in. Holy, yeah, enough about this mask and stuff. God damn. How lucky. Like, I hope, I mean, who knows what's down the road, but if I live here for the rest of my life, I've said to people that, listen, I could spend the rest of my life on this mountain and learn something every day, you know? At this point, that'd be great, but I don't know, we'll have to see what's down the road, but anyway, yeah, so, I'm complaining about masks. Have you ever seen me wear a mask on these water walks? Nope. Anyway, bitchy. Anyway, so, yeah. I guess that's it for today. I'm near the end of my trail part of the water walk. And, I shall continue on. Hope everyone's doing well. It's getting into March, which means in the north, it'll start warming up. Sun's getting higher. That's awesome. Pretty soon you'll be able to zap some vitamin D just from the sun, like nature intended. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll sign off now. Enough about my rants about the masking and stuff. It's nice that that's turning around. I'm sure a lot of people aren't gonna take it as whatever, but do what you want to do. Really, it comes down to, if you want to wear a mask or whatever, go ahead. It's not hurting anyone. But there are arguments to be met, discussions to be had. Ugh, I just can't believe. Okay, see you later. Ciao. Wow, the flowering trees at this time of year are gorgeous. I'm just actually after the water walk, so I'll tie this in my water walk thing, but I'm just doing some kendo right now, and boy, the doxiao are out, and whatever these purple and pink flowers are. There's so many beautiful flowering trees here at this time of year. Anyway, ciao.